Welcome, everyone. Dr. Thor here. The man who talks to machines. Get ready for Gnosis. What I want to talk about here is a special design that is exclusive to my technology where you actually take in directly the scalar energies that you are producing instead of just going by the quantum physics of entanglement, where you're sending energy fields to a particular photograph or person or their witness, etc. This is a much more effective way, and like with most things in life, when you can have direct feed into you, get the scalar energies directly in you, you get a lot better results. It's much stronger. Now, it's certainly nice to broadcast to yourself or others, and this is done for long-term purposes. But if you really need a strong jolt of energy, let's say you need a high level of protection, maybe you need a high level of success energy because you're getting involved in deals or trading or whatever is going on, or you may be fighting a biophysical energetic problem in your energetic bodies. All of this works a lot better when you directly take the feed of energy into you. This just makes sense, regardless of the type of energies they are. And of course, scalar energies are bioactive as well. They blend into your bioactivity. That's how they work. They create energy fields around you. Now, these energy fields then become kind of attractive fields to draw to you whatever you need. Again, this could be financial, this could be protection, this could be healing, no matter what it is that you're seeking. So, one of the major problems, and of course, the really arcane, backwards, and pretty stupid thinking of manifesting tool people, particularly the really low group of radionic practitioners, really can't think of anything new. They don't have any new designs. They want to put more dials. They want to make the dials in certain shapes. I mean, hey, man, this is done. This is yesterday's reality. And they never go past anything. And the quality of equipment out there couldn't really be any baser and lower, no matter what you pay for it. Even if you're paying thousands of dollars for a box of nothing that you get out there full of little chips, which is typical of a particular instrument that's really a piece of garbage that's been basically fraudulently pushed on the public by organizations and other things that really has nothing behind it as well. But, this is regardless of cost or anything else, there are not any good equipment out there except what I offer, period. It's not really complicated, particularly when it comes to a technology that nobody really understands other than myself, who hasn't had 55 years of research in the area, hasn't engineered, sold, designed, built, and had the only retail store selling radionic equipment in the history of the planet. So my background is sterling and goes on for many years, while other people's backgrounds is fraught with fraud and really bad science. None of them have trained themselves. None of them bothered to take courses. None of them have bothered to learn from others. They're all self-appointed experts. I have a degree in force energy physics, a degree in occult sciences from an alternative schools, all the things that I've spent this 55 years of research in, basically since the age of 10. So the whole idea is that no one else has my background. I've worked with every possible manifesting tool that's out there. And all of them are pretty bad. That's why I've always made my own tech, because my equipment is unparalleled in its effects and its power. And I've done amazing things for others and myself. I've done extremely well coming from nothing. And let's put it this way. I'm at the tippy top of everything. So the whole idea is that all of these things are part of someone who's successful, while other people really aren't. So they make a lot of claims, and they can produce nothing. But the bottom line is that if you're going to have real technology, you need to take energies directly into you. Now, this is a type of antenna that connects to a typical transmitter. That's what this is. And when you put it together in a unit setup, as I offer, this is a great way. So you'll feed the energy goes into an amplifier, you get 80 watts of amplification, and that's only from this little puppy. This is our smallest unit. It goes into a transmitter that then sends that energy out to the target, into the universe, etc., and this creates amazing effects. No matter what it is, these things will change your life. Now, of course, everybody's life is a little different, so the results that you get is dependent upon your life. Nothing is a magic lamp. And if you think like that, well, you're pretty goofy. But why would you possibly just work on the quantum entanglement effect of using this with a photograph only on here, and then the energy subtly comes to you through that photograph? So you have to tune it in. The energy then flows through the unit. It then flows into your photograph that then transfers it to you in the physical reality. This, of course, is how this technology has been used for many, many years. And apparently everybody was a little bit too ignorant and poorly educated to understand, well, why not take that energy directly in? Now, I always had in my units, and still do, generally ins and outs. So you can send energy in and you can pull energy out. So if you wanted to just even use this technology on a standard unit that has an out jack, and a lot of machines don't have out jacks or in jacks, great engineering, you've already got it yourself a piece of junk if it doesn't have in and out jacks. Where you can take in additional energies. But we've run even past that because we use, of course, very advanced disk programs that we use under our units and so forth. And of course, you have to make sure that you transfer all your energy are transferred through transfer disk and through broadcasting disks as well, so you can transfer them one over to the other if you're using other people's or you're upgrading your own tools. But of course, we use all these disks. You got to remember that you have to transmute the energy to scalar for it to work. And this is, of course, plain and simple, proven science, and particularly proven manifesting science, which I am the expert in and the only expert in as well. This field is kind of new, but nobody really has done what I've done, studied all of it, and done all the necessary research, etc. But you're going to get amazing results when you take the energy in. Why just wait for the effects to come to you through a photograph where it becomes less and less empowered? That's one of the problems people do, number one. So to overcome that, of course, there's several things you do. Well, of course, you amplify it. You get at least 80 watts of power by amplifying it through this. And then, of course, you send from the amplifier into a transmitter, which again is transmutated to handle the scalar energies. You're not using whatever electromagnetism comes out of this, whatever frequencies come out of this. It is transmuted into scalar, which are non-electromagnetic energy fields that are the creation of the universe and that have the foundation of everything. And that's the foundation that's going to affect you. It's not going to be some sort of Maxwell frequency or some frequency that you can measure with some meter. Those are common world frequencies, best left to powering your toaster and doing whatever else common AC fields and electromagnetic fields do. Generally, these tend to be mediocre when it comes to anything manifesting or anything higher level, whether that's any field of manifesting. You got to remember, manifesting covers absolutely everything, whether, as I've mentioned, financial, health, whatever it is, you're trying to manifest a new state of being. And what you're doing is you're trying to create something out of those energies. So you want to create a financial success in your life. So you surround yourself with financial success energies that build around you and attract everything you need. So we're talking about non-physical fields here, so non-physical that they are not electromagnetic. Now, scalar fields make electromagnetism. That's where electromagnetism comes from. This is a mystery to most scientists who live in the world of idiot science perpetrated by boobs like Einstein, who've trapped us in a box of stupidity, which basically has proven to be all wrong. So none of that stuff is in basis of anything, and science can prove that to you because they don't do anything that has value. So the only people that do anything that has value is they take the junk, the garbage, the stinking feces that physicists give them, and they then have to figure out how to use that to make something work. And most engineering types are not too good at what they do either, because after all, they've been basically delivered a pile of poo that they have to somehow assemble into something works, while the physicists live in their land of make-believe. And of course, the physicists now are trying to take over AI because we know that physics is worthless and done nothing. They have no answers to anything. They build billion-dollar colliders to ram things together to kind of find the bits, or we could say the poo that's left over after particles are collided together. That's your science, yeah.
It's so advanced. It's like it's like a demolition derby. You run into each other and what comes, comes.
So all of that, but the whole idea is you want to use, now this technology is available in 3.5 jacks. You can get it in RCA. A good thing to do with people that have our transmutated amplifiers is you can get this so it can plug right into the out jack going out to your speakers. And you can hold on to this and you're going to get the amplified energy coming from the amplifier. If you don't have those and you have what most people probably do is old primitive junk, you then plug it into your out jack. And that means just by holding this. So if you tuned in a frequency to bring you good luck, to protect you on your journey, to increase the level of bioenergies in your physical body, which basically is your etheric body, which then makes you feel better, all you have to do is hold on to this when it's plugged in. So you would plug it into here. This, of course, is for a transmitter jack, but basically you'd plug it into there and you'd get the model for 3.5. As I said, we offer these in 3.5, RCA, and in typical one that you use on your transmitter. This is a classic antenna jack on here. But what you've done there is that you are now pulling the energy, whatever you've dialed in here, and people think it's so special and everything else, and their units, and they're so sold on it. Or if you're using one of our discs, of course, that you put on here to send energy through it, no matter what that may be, and we have hundreds of discs, that energy will be going through the unit. You've tuned something in here. If you have a dial, you don't really need dials when you have discs. Again, that's a primitive way of doing things designed in the 1920s. Let's go back to that. And then it goes into your picture here. And you'd still set it up like that, and your energy would flow into your photograph there, hopefully a Polaroid, because that's the only really connections in terms of photographs that really work. You can put other biophysical things there, fingernails, hair, etc., whatever you have, or something that is identified with that person. People don't understand things like emails, people's telephone number. There's only one of those in the world. Remember that. You have your own distinct model. So it's a way of identifying the target that you can use. So there's a lot of things you can use as witnesses, but there's nothing better than a Polaroid picture, or what they call instant camera pictures of today, which are very popular, and these cameras are available everywhere. And they are pretty inexpensive. I recommend people buy a used one off of eBay, and that's all you need. Or get yourself a fancier one. It's a big fad now, people having instant photos. So, of course, pioneered by the Polaroid Corporation, and later they went out of business, and now it's something that people buy the rights to. So understanding all that is very critically important, but you're not going to find anywhere else, because none of these other people who are making these very primitive machines know anything about anything. Sad but true. So you can now hold on to this, relax, take the energy in, if it's, and then you can take the energy, feel it. If you're trying to empower something you're doing financially, you would then start thinking about that. Do a little visualization. And that energy is pouring into you. And when you visualize it, you're sending the energy directly to your target. Let's say you're under psychic attack, or you want to block that. Well, you visualize the energy going into you, forming a very powerful shield around you. And you'll find that this kind of work is quite amazing. And now you can get basically something that is on a much more direct and understandable energy. When you're holding something and pulling in the scalar energies into your bioenergy fields directly, instead of trying to calculate or think, well, how does that go into the photo or the hair and then transfer to me? These things a lot of people just can't understand, and why make it difficult? Do it direct, and you're going to be getting, for the time that you hold onto these objects, so you're holding onto these, just holding both hands. I just put my thumbs right here, and you just hold it and do your visualization. Send that money to send that success energy to a project you want to make money from. Think about that project. Think about getting lots of customers. Think about that stock going up. That's all you have to do. If you're under attack, think about a strong field around you that is stopping all negative energy from coming to you. Think about that, and that's all you have to do. And relax. This isn't forcing anything. If you have a particular biophysical problem, think of the energy going to that particular area and it taking care of that problem. The energy is restoring the proper fields in your body, so it promotes the highest level of well-being that is possible. That is all part of the process, and very simple. And how do you do that? Well, you can do it the old-fashioned way and get mediocre results. And basically, when you're projecting like this, you're losing a lot of power. Plain and simple. Huge amounts of power is what you're losing. When you can gain it all, get 100% of the scalar energy to get 100% better results by actually doing that. These are critical steps when you're dealing with vital force energies, and the nature of the vital force energies is that they tend to not work like you think they do. And just because you stick your finger in an electrical socket and you feel a huge energy coming from them, an electrical shock, that doesn't mean anything has happened to any way of value whatsoever. It's gross. It's just like putting a bunch of spices on a food. You're not improving the taste of it. You're tasting the spices. Does that improve the food? Well, really, that's a really terrible way to do anything. It's ignorant, it's stupid, and it bastardizes the entire process. But when you do something like this, add this to, and we know that a lot of people have all this different junk out there. So if you're able to update your units by adding on amplifiers, adding on transmitters, adding on these special connecting antennas that send the energy directly into you. I like to call these bio antennas that are sent into you, send the energies go through. This is how you can take old equipment, which you may have invested a lot in or have hanging around, and easily upgrade it for a relatively small fee, a small cost involved in it. So these are great ways to take it, and there are a lot of instruments out of there. If you have an orgonite instrument, throw it in the trash. They are toxic poison. Get rid of it, and get rid of it fast. Don't use any of that. But there's a lot of other machines out there that most people may have, and these can be updated because the guts, the internalness of most older radionic machines are all the same. Meaning they're empty. There's nothing in there. They're just wires going to potentiometers into a couple of plates. That's all they are. There's no mystery to radionics. The mystery is, do they really work or not? And basically, they're psychic crutches. All they do is help you focus. No energy is ever produced from a radionic machine, ever, since they were invented in the 1920s and went through all the different variations that we have up to this day. It's amazing to me how such weak and pathetic technologies have hung on for as long as they have. But, the concepts were interesting. The psychic focusing, the energy that can come from these things, if focused properly, is interesting and at times can be very powerful. And as such, there is something to it. But we went past that. If you're still using old technologies, not using cool updates like this, not using transmitters and not using amplifiers, you're really, go back to your horse, because I'm assuming that's what you're riding today. That's how you get from A to B. You're using horses. Or maybe you're still walking. Well, that's about the level of the technology of all these machines are. Or maybe you BS'd yourself and think that because there's some little computer processor in there. Because we all know that computers can do everything. They create everything. Everybody's wealthy, happy, and everything else because of a little processing chip. I mean, the idiocy of this is beyond comprehension. So, adding these things on are very important, and you can find these in a link down below, which will give you more information on it. You can order the type that you need with the type of fitting you need, and you're off to the races, and you're going to get some amazing results this way. When you are not able to hold this, because you don't necessarily want to do this all the time, you can hold these things for as long as you want, but then you go back to leaving your machine the way it was, and then it can do that typical quantum entanglement where the energies kind of connect together and work with each other, which is how these machines work on a very primitive basis. But you got to remember that psychic entanglement is caused by your consciousness and your, quote, biophysical powers, as we like to call them, psychic powers as they're often stated, because that's how these things work. And we can't underestimate that as well. Psychic powers can be potent at times, but they are very weak. They burn out very quickly. And there's ways of sustaining and increasing these consciousness energies, these scalar fields that are creative. And that's what you do with someone who knows what they're doing with sophisticated, high-level technologies. And of course, this is our very base model we're showing here, which has a 80-watt tube amplifier. Very critical using tubes. We've talked about these in other videos. And of course, having a quality actual transmitter that has other capacities, and we will be having more programs that fit into USBs. This has a USB on the back. And of course, all of these things are now moving this interesting and fascinating and powerful technology into what's really modern times, and not really only modern times. This is really 25th century technology. This is surpassing the comical technologies we have today, which really don't do much of anything. AI is able to replace idiot jobs and give you pretty much vanilla, mediocre, poor quality of everything that AI does. And it is primitive to say the least, and it will never be much more than that. This is true manifesting technology, true technology that manifests your desires through consciousness energies, which are then turned into energy fields, which then manifest in the physical plane in one way or another. They are not magic lamps, and you're not going to find a lump of gold in front of your door or a bucket of money. You're just going to know how to produce that gold, how to get the money to buy that. That's how it works. It doesn't work by things popping up in front of you like some Star Trek replicator. This type of technology would destroy the entire reality of the world if it was possible. But that's kind of a primitive way of doing things, and almost comic book in nature, where something would pop up in front of you. You want something to give you the route to, the ability to, the opportunity to create the state of reality that you want, whether that's a high state of physical functioning because you have problems and illnesses, or whether it's something that is financial. And let's not even limit that. What about spiritual? What about thinking right for once in your life? What about having a high level of understanding way past the really bogus understanding that dumb academia gives you in their fake everything that they offer you? So there's lots of things you can manifest in your life, and it doesn't have to be the crude, lewd, physical coins and paper money and all the other stuff out there. That's a level of reality that is important to everybody to a degree, but the bottom line, there's an awful lot in life past that. So you can also connect with all of that. Our well-being in general is in horrible peril. And if you're going to survive, you're going to have to bring your biophysical energies up to a very high level. And those are the energy fields around you. These are what are going to sustain you and keep you at a proper level of well-being and give you long life. And it's also the fact, well, is that enough? Well, it isn't. Don't you want to have wisdom? Don't you want to connect to higher sources? All of this comes from higher sources, which I've been connected to all my life. So the whole idea is you have to learn to tune into these. And if you learn to tune into these, the world is your oyster, as they say. You can pretty much create everything. But you don't want to create just boring physical nonsense, physical items. As the old saying goes, you can't take it with you, and you really can't. Anything physical will eventually decay and be gone, just like your physical body. You can't take it with you. It has minimal value, and it may be fun to own some stuff initially, but in the end, none of that has any value. So this type of technology goes way beyond the monetary and even the physical well-being. It goes into your entire reality for the rest of your existence, because you will go on and you may reincarnate back to this sewer unless you have help from this kind of technology, which will help you ascend out of this hell plane and be in a reality with people that think like you, and you'll be able to build an entire new reality away from the wars, the sicknesses, the perversions that this reality is famous for. It's all possible using real technology and bringing those energies by, part of it is using all this, but bringing the energies in by using this type of simple but powerful tool. Of course, this is, again, a transmuted product. There's a disc that comes with this that transmutes this antenna into this scalar antenna, but each tool you use has to be transmuted as well. It's not the fact that any electronics is going to do something for you. If you think that, I mean, you're kind of ignorant. I mean, it's kind of silly, isn't it? Kind of silly to think you're going to get some little amplifier and a little transmitter, which are pretty common, and your life is going to change because of that. And of course, a lot of people think that, and a lot of people jump over transmutation and all the necessary discs and other things, thinking they're going to buy these and they're going to get some sort of result with it. Well, that just shows you're kind of a very corrupt person. You're a person that doesn't get it. And if you think you're going to get it by doing that and you're going to get results, well, you're throwing money down the toilet, and it shows that you're really not the kind of person that deserves to have this technology. But it's out there. Like everything is available to those who are smart enough, wise enough, and who are basically on the proper path, so that they will recognize what really is being offered and seize the opportunity to change their life forever, to change their family's life forever, and for them to reach a whole new level of reality in the way it should be, in the way the modern world really is, assisted by technology. Not technology is no way is it in charge. Not with my technology. Your consciousness is in charge, and your higher self connected to higher energy realities is what keeps everything going. And that's what you're drawing in. There's no way is the machine or the programs or anything else has anything to do with it. This works on much higher levels. And again, if you don't understand all that, well, I guess this ain't for you. I guess you're bound to come back here for another 1,000 times as a world that's being worse and worse, that's going to be sicker and sicker, that's already a whole planet that is so toxified, so destroyed, that it's amazing life is being sustained on it at all. And of course, we have the usual problems. Government's solution to everything is let's start another war. It keeps you distracted. You can spend all the money you want, and it ends you up in the same sewer that you came out of. So this is the reality, but you can change your life, and you can go on to a better life, and you can ascend. This technology does it. And one of the little tools that everybody can use that is reasonably priced is the fact that you can get something like this. And if you have some primitive manifesting machine, pretty much of anybody's manufacturer, you hook this up to it and you're going to be able to draw in very powerful energies that you've tuned in. And you can take that into your well-being energy consciousness to fill yourself with those energies. So you're going to get much better results than trying to tune something in or putting a silly witness or some fingernail clippings or hair or even a Polaroid. This is much better than using a Polaroid. You're taking the energy directly into you by just placing your two thumbs here and drawing that energy in and then sending that to your target. Sending sending that to your opportunity, sending that to that investment, sending it to that person who needs help, sending it to bring that person up to a higher level. All of that you can do when you have powerful enough energies going through you, not these silly little machines that are unpowered whatsoever. So when you use some sort of main machine, you amplify it, and then you basically use a transmitter. Now you're getting up there with serious powers, because what you do, and that's what they're designed for, it connects onto your antenna. So you've got all this energy, you've got the basic energy, it's been amplified with this, and 80 watts is still quite a bit. You're then going into a transmitter and taking that energy in, and the same thing. You have now created a super powerful scalar wave that can change your life. It's as simple as that. And all you need is some simple equipment like this that is made properly, has been transmutated, and your life can change radically. And of course, we need this. We're going into very tough times, and that's why I'm coming out with these tools right now. I've changed my life. I've changed many other people's lives, and this is the time as we go into greater and greater struggle, no matter what level that's on. Maybe it's not money with you. Maybe it's spiritual. Maybe there's some biophysical problems you're having. All of these have to be in line if you're going to have a good life. And ultimately, it's meaningless until you are able to reach higher states of consciousness and ascend out of prison camp Earth. It's as simple as that. Learn the facts, people. Understand the Gnostic reality of this world. Move on. And those that do move on are the ones that are supposed to. We certainly don't want everybody ascending, because who wants all the people that are on this planet? We want a select group of people who understand technology like this, can change their lives, and can go on to a better place. Hopefully that's clear, everyone. Until next time.